my goal is to help as many people as I can reach an optimal quality of life. That's why I feel like I was put on this earth. And this podcast is one way to get the word out there that this is what I do and how much our lifestyle, those choices that we have in front of us every single day, how they affect us, whether it could be the people around us, it could be the food that we're putting in us, it could be the chemicals that we are in and we don't even realize, it can be the sleep that we're getting, we're likely not getting. All of these things make a difference in how our genes express, and that affects our quality of life. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, epigenetic human performance coach. This is where we discuss all things lifestyle, environment, food, exercise, work, mind, and social interaction as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone. So if you're ready to start viewing you as an individual, take control of your life and health, and get results, buckle up, here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics Raw, Real, Relatable podcast. I'm your host, Susan Robbins, and this is the place where we talk about everything lifestyle and environment and how it relates to our genetic expression. So today, 2 weeks in a row of just me. I know, who'd have thought? But it just happened to fall on my 1-year podcast anniversary of Everyday Epigenetics. So I thought it was important for me to come on here and express gratitude, not only to my listeners, you guys are fantastic. The numbers just keep rising, but also to everyone who has joined me over this last year, some of you multiple times. And I am so very grateful. But that's what today is going to be. It's going to be not a long one. It's going to be a little bit short, but gives you a bit of a break to, as I like to say, go get caught up on what you've missed, because there have been some fantastic episodes that have come out. I've got some in the hopper waiting to come out that you're going to love. And I have some changes coming as well. So I'm going to talk about all that today. And tomorrow, as I'm recording this, but April 1st, and this is scheduled to drop on the 31st because I come out on Mondays. New episodes are on Mondays, and the 1st is actually Tuesday, but it is my 1-year anniversary of this podcast. And this was my labor of love, my get out of my comfort zone and put myself out there, open myself up to the haters, bring it, criticizers, like, that's scary stuff. I sat on wanting to do something like this for years, just saying, I want to do this. I want to do this. I always thought, even as a kid, I was like, I want to host a talk show. And this dates me, I wanted to be like Phil Donahue back in the day. I thought that was so cool. And here I am. Now it's podcasting, right? But it took so much for me to come out of that comfort zone, for fear I'd say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and I'd get hammered on. But you know what? Nobody's perfect. It is what it is. And I want people to see that I'm actually real. And my whole goal was to bring personalized health into the forefront, because people talk about it being the future, but it is here. And as I say, I have it and I want to use it, and I want to help. My goal is to help as many people as I can reach an optimal quality of life. That's why I feel like I was put on this earth. And this podcast is one way to get the word out there that this is what I do, and how much our lifestyle, those choices that we have in front of us every single day, how they affect us, whether it could be the people around us, it could be the food that we're putting in us, it could be the chemicals that we are in and we don't even realize, it can be the sleep that we're getting, we're likely not getting. All of these things make a difference in how our genes express, and that affects our quality of life. So I brought this podcast on to talk about all things lifestyle related. There are so many podcasts out there that are deep dive science that I have to look terms up. and and then when you start talking about lab rats and all these studies, I'm an activator, connector brain. I don't have a big attention span and you lose me. So I wanted to put a podcast out there that was really just for the layman, the everyday person, make it topics just easy to understand, but actionable. What can you do? What's a small thing, a small change you might make, or how might you make a different decision that can get you going down a better road? And that's what I wanted to bring out there. This is actually also my 50th episode. I can't believe I've got 50 of these behind me. And I hate these ones where I do them myself because I don't like sitting here talking to a camera. I want to talk with people. So I want to thank first everybody that has listened. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. You've helped me grow this. You're to those of you who are sharing this on a regular basis, you're commenting, it, it means so much to me. I get great feedback, and I have most of you that my few trusted peeps that are close to me give me really honest, solid feedback. And I've tried to take that feedback and work with it. And hopefully, it's made the podcast better. And I do listen to feedback. I would love feedback from you guys. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing because if we can help one person have a better life, be healthier, help their children be healthier, shoot, that's is worth it all, right? So thank you for sharing this with, as I say at the end of every episode, please share this with someone that you think this could help. And I truly mean that because sometimes you never know who's fighting what battles inside, outwardly. Share the podcast. You might reach somebody that you had no idea you could even reach. Second, I want to thank all the guests that have appeared on here. And like I said, I've had some come on multiple times and I hear people saying, I just love that guest. I go through everything they do. And none of us are here competing. It's all, let's work together to make America everywhere, not just America, but make America healthy again. And I think we can all work together doing that. So people come on and I love hearing everybody has a story, how they've gotten to where they are and being able to share that and the vulnerability, especially with my clients. I am so grateful, not just that you've chosen to have me as part of your journey, but those of you that have come on and shared some really intimate things with us about your journeys. It reaches people. I've had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm Eric. You make a difference by opening up and talking about you." And again, that's part of the real and relatable of this podcast that I wanted. I'm not here to sell programs. I'm just here to let people know that the stuff is real. I don't sit here pretending to be somebody I'm not. Um, I just want people to know that there's help when you need it. If you don't feel good, you don't deserve to feel not good, right? We all should feel great and have a good quality of life. So really take those steps. Take that first step, which is always the hardest. So to all my guests who've come on, my clients, other professionals, thank you for working with me to help us put the word out with what we're doing to make the world a better place. The people that I've connected with, I've I know I've got some lasting friendships out of this and professionals, which leads me into some of the changes coming up for this podcast because things change, right? So, Kate King. Kate King, I've had on my podcast 3 times. I will ask you all to, if you have not heard her podcast, she is a licensed therapist. She is the head of the Radiant Life Project, Living Life Authentically. She's an art therapist. She's just a beautiful energy and a fellow activator. and, and her episodes, I will tell you to go back and listen to her because I want you to get to know her better and her expertise better. She is episodes 11, which was based around trauma and epigenetics, 30, which was on emotionally unavailable people. Those 2 were in my top 5 podcasts last year. People want more of how to connect with people in a healthy way. And then we just did one, episode 43, which what was that? That one was, toxic relationships, identifying them and when to leave, when to stay. Fantastic. So Kate and I decided we're going to live an hour apart. Let's meet because we just gelled so well and love what each other does. And we met and we were sitting at Red Rocks Amphitheater on a beautiful day while I got a splinter in my butt. Like, you can't make it up. As we sat there talking. And she was like, I would love to do podcasts with you. So we just knew we wanted to work together. And we thought about doing a different podcast that was just us, again, us talking, maybe interviewing some people. So I went down and met with her again last week. And we decided that it was actually a week, yeah, just a few days ago. She said, what do you think about me co-hosting on yours? Since I already have an established audience and you guys apparently love her and like how we interact. And so we're looking at starting June 1st. Kate will be my new co-host. I'm excited, so excited. This is emotional. I'm so excited. When I first started the podcasting, if you listen to my podcast I did with Adrienne, she was one of my clients, one of my early ones last year, my very first client one. And I kept saying, you should come on as a co-host because I love her energy. And I would love to have a co-host. I love to have someone just shoot the shit with. Great, just chat and talk to other people because we all have such differing brains, right? How we see things and to have questions come from a different angle. And so Kate and I talked about it. And we just thought it was such a great idea. So June 1st, she's coming on and we're just basically saying the podcast isn't going to change. It's still going to be based around epigenetics and but it's going to allow us to talk more about what we're doing along an epigenetic platform coming from our 2 areas of expertise. She's all about brain and relationship development, like I just love it. And because we just go on. And so we're going to be having some during the month where it's just the 2 of us talking about a topic and going off on things like that. And then we're still going to interview people. But it's a good way for you to get to know more about epigenetics that I practice and what she does in helping people live a radiant life. And so we said it's really going to be about creating a radiant life through epigenetics. And we're really excited about it, but it's still going to be every Monday. It's going to be weekly. So none of that's going to change. I didn't want to change the format of the show other than having a co-host come on now and be a equal partner in this. But I didn't want to change the basics of how this was done, when this was done. And I think it's just going to be a really cool vibe to add to the show. The energy is going to be great. And again, you got 2 activators here. So you know the energy is going to be really good. And I joke around with her because we're both little. When I saw her, we look alike. Like it's crazy. And I'm in your face. And Kate is, even though she's an activator, Kate's pretty chill. she's she's the calm one. So I say I'm the bull in the china shop. Kate's like the china. We're just gonna roll with it and just have a great time bringing you really quality stuff. We don't want to make it like it's an educational thing every week, but we want you to learn. We want you to get something out of each episode and have fun listening at the same time. So that's major change coming to Everyday Epigenetics. And if any of you saw my podcast last week, or now it'll be 2 weeks ago, with the ladies at St. Ledger, and we had the mama, Lisa, who is a level 2 PH 360 coach. She stayed on with me after we recorded that and said, I want to talk business with you. And as Lisa had coached with me, and then she went and became a PH coach. And she's like, "How can we work together?" Because again, we're just like, I leave I leave a job where I was for 2.5 years, but didn't align with anymore. And the fear of leaving that job because it was steady was just a panic. But when you leave something that you are no longer in alignment with, it opens up so much new and so much great with things and people that are in alignment with you. So Lisa brings this to me, and we're working on something. So stay tuned, watch social media. I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to launch a pH based type of intro group personalized health program. Yes, a group program that is personalized. People don't do this. And the other cool thing is Lisa is going to join Kate and I likely, because we'll see how this rolls, how we want to do this, but likely about once a month. And we're going to do a little coach's corner where we'll either have a topic that the three of us can talk about, or we're just going to jam on what we're seeing out there. And I say, if you think about three musicians that play different instruments, Lisa and I are both PH360 coaches, but I also do the DNA testing. If you watched last week's podcast, you would know that. If not, go back and listen. So we all have our different, and then Kate coming from the therapy and other type of coaching arena that she's doing now. So it's going to be like musicians playing different instruments that come together and just have a jam session. And so again, it's going to be really fun. We'll answer any questions that come in, and I think that's going to be awesome. So that'll be a coach's corner we're going to do. And there are the things coming up. So there's a lot coming up, not just with my business, but again, the changes to this podcast that I think you guys are really going to love. At least I hope you do. And be honest, let us know. Give us feedback when we get rolling, and bear with us because this will be new. Hell, we've done 3 podcasts together, and I think they've been fantastic. Obviously, 2 out of the 3 were top 5 last year. We just gel really well. So I think her coming on here, it's just going to be a pretty easy flow. But bear with us as we get this down together. I have it down after the last year. Thank you for all of you that started with me from the start and saw I was so nervous. And I used to have all these notes in front of me, and I'd have a whole list of questions I want to ask. And I'd get so thrown off easily if I missed a question. And that didn't last long, to where I just wanted it to be just a conversation between a couple of people. Now it's going to be a conversation between 3 people. I tell my guests when they come on, my last rule, one rule is you have to be yourself. Just be who you are. So that's why it's raw. You don't know. Some people, including myself, sometimes throw a little profanity out there that just works. It just is. I'm not going to change. I am who I am, and I don't want my guests to feel like they can't be themselves either. Raw, real. So just be real, just be yourself, keep it raw, and then make it relatable to the everyday person. Because had some really sciencey people on here, and I'm just like, just make sure it's relatable to every day. And I tell people to have fun. And that's just a big thing for me because I want that natural energy to come through to you guys. So thank you. Like I said, this was a short one, but I just wanted to come on and just truly thank you all from the bottom of my heart for making this work. Was happy to get a couple of people to listen, and now it's a few thousand, several thousand, and I have to get the numbers. Oh, before I cannot continue until I thank Liz Jakimowicz. Liz is my podcast manager. And I will tell you that neither I nor this podcast would be in this space right now if it were not for Liz. She, oh my God. And let me tell you, when I started this thing a year ago, I was a wreck. Because you all know, most of you, I am so not technical, right? You think I'm not sciencey? I'm worse with anything technical. And I found Liz. The best decision of my life was to hire her to do this because everything you see out there, every show note you look at, that's all Liz. She puts all of that together. All I do is this, and I send it to her, and she works her magic. She listens to every freaking podcast from beginning to end. And I think I've sent her like 8 or 9 in the last couple of weeks, and she's at it. And she's so fantastic at what she does. The quality she puts out there with the media releases. And she also reaches out to my guests and sends them everything so they can promote it. She's just and when we started, I met with her, we did a Zoom call, and she's telling me, "Okay, I need you to do this and this and this." And I'm already like, what?" I mean, I had to shut myself off from society for for a couple of months to work on this thing, to put this out here because I had no idea what I was doing, and it takes me a lot I have to concentrate. I can't have any interruptions, I can't have any distractions, it's really hard for me. And we got done that phone call, and I remember texting her and just saying, "I am so overwhelmed. I just don't know what to do. Like, I don't even know where to start. There's so much to do. I don't know if I can do this." And she said, "Should I just email you?" And I said, "That'd be great. Should I email you and list everything you need to do?" "Yes, please." She emailed it was like 3 things, and it took me like 5-10 minutes. I had to see it. And she just was so patient with me. And I am so very grateful for her. She is such a part of this Healthy Awakening team and just a backbone of Everyday Epigenetics. Liz, I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping to make this podcast what it is because I would not be here without you. Now I conclude my little thank you for 1 year and 50 episodes of making my life that much better to allow me to do this and come into your atmosphere. So thank you so much. And yeah, I appreciate you all. Get out there, be your most authentic selves, and make it a great day. And please, please, please continue to share these podcasts with anybody, everybody, because there might be just one person where you make that difference. So thank you so much. Take care and hope to see you for the next 50. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning into my podcast. If you enjoyed this week's episode, I'd love for you to share it with someone who would find the information useful. Also, if you can leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts, it'll help the information get out to others. You can check out my podcast site and sign up for my newsletter for updates and upcoming shows, and that link is in the show notes below. And go make it a great day and let your authentic self shine.